Hello, everyone. This is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and welcome to another edition of the X-Men 97 Season 2 review series. And today we are going to be talking about Episode 2, A Force to be Reckoned with. And joining us once again is the one and only, the badass himself, Rex the Boss 11. Rex, great to have you back here again. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, I'm doing very well. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's talk about X-Men 97 Season 2, Episode 2.
Okay, so A Force to be Reckoned with. This was the spotlight episode featuring X-Force. So, Rex, let's get straight to you. What did you think of this episode?
Well, from before in the movies and in the original series, I'm not a huge fan of X-Force. They've always just seemed a bit like either they're jealous of the X-Men or they're like anti-X-Men or they're
Yeah,
disgruntled X-Men. Whatever they are, I just know when they turn up, they're going to mess things up. So obviously here you got to see it's like half and half, isn't it? It's Cable in the present time
yeah.
building a team with Sunspot, Jubilee,
And Psylocke and Archangel.
they're calling themselves X Force as well, which is a bit confusing.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Havoc. I know I understand he's Cyclops' brother. I understand he's an original X-Men, but the choice that they made to join with the other people
yeah.
is very weird, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
A little bit,
Like
yeah.
they always just seem to be this. They're a little bit like Thunderbolt Ross and them. They seem to be this. They're a group of good guys,
Yeah.
but they're not always seeing the X-Men as good guys. So then we're not going to see them as good guys, are we? But yeah, I
No.
understand why they was in this. But let's be perfectly honest. They just slowed down everything in this episode. They just made everything more harder, more. I was on the other team. I was clearly rooting for Cable and
Oh,
Jubilee,
100%.
and so I was clearly rooting for them. I just don't like what's the green haired girl's name?
Polaris, that's it, yeah.
Because she
Uh,
gets half, doesn't she? Is this what you left the X-Men for by Jubilee?
yeah, I
And
can't.
Jubilee, once again, Jubilee is one of the most overlooked and underused X-Men in the history of the actual mutant kind. So for her to turn around to the other one and say, why would you leave the X-Men? It's a good question, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I mean, this episode, we got off to such a really powerful start. And then it gets to this episode. While I did enjoy it, I completely agree what you're saying that this episode just completely slowed everything right down.
It was a great episode, but I didn't need
It
X-Force
was.
in episode 2. I seriously did not need X-Force in series 2. I would have rather them had some form of the Brotherhood of Mutants or whatever, like an offspring of maybe Toad and a few other bad guys that
Yeah.
just had to happen to be an obstacle for these X-Men rather than it being X-Force. Because whenever X-Force get on the screen, it just makes me want to switch off. Like
I know what you mean.
I don't like Havoc, and I don't like how he's got this over the top, like he's like Captain America of the X-Men. Like obviously we didn't get to see the major original run with Beast and all these first class, but yeah, Havoc, not for me.
Well, I mean, in this episode, obviously you got X-Force with all the guys we mentioned, but also the other team we had here was X Factor. Yeah, you had Havoc,
I hate
Multiple
them.
Man, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, and Polaris. This episode to me, I'm going to throw in the wrestling analogy here. This episode to me was like, remember when WCW, NWO had all those splinter factions aside from Wolfpack and Hardys?
You were gonna say what I was thinking. NWO was NWO
Yeah,
Wolfpack.
yeah,
Like it's like the X Factor or Hogan and them lot. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and the X Men
Cable,
or the
Wolfpack,
Wolfpack. Yeah,
Red and
or the
Black, yeah.
Wolfpack. But then once again, there's also other splinter factions because there was also NWO Hollywood B, wasn't there? There was a second faction with like Stevie Ray and all those losers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then you
like
had the
once
other
again,
one.
I'm glad that
Yeah.
it wasn't any of these random sort of X-Men team foes, people who they go up against randomly. But yeah, I didn't really need Havoc and Polaris and them in episode 2. Like what I'm not, and I'm once again, I'm not being negative. I actually like the episode. I
I
just
did.
I could have done without you, I could have done without those being the interchangeable characters that we were provided with, if you understand my meaning. Like,
Yeah,
their two characters were very interchangeable, as in we could have just had a team of villains that stopped or tried to stop Cable in them lot, rather than it being we're never going to take this X Factor team seriously because they come across as bad guys to me.
yeah. I think what it was with this episode, like you said, it was very good. Even they even switched up the intro as well. Instead of calling it X-Men 97, they called it like X-Force 97, which I thought was kind of cool in all fairness.
Yeah, it was kind of
But
cool.
but this episode so early on, after such a powerful start, I mean, this episode could have easily been somewhere maybe like in the middle, maybe like episode 6 or 7, because
6, 7,
this.
yeah. Like, once again, I know why we got this because obviously they
Mm,
needed to get to episode 5 where they then go with this Weapon X. So we needed
yeah,
some form of a filler. Like, basically, the producers are saying, who can we put in the way of this X Force team that we will not necessarily have to hang on to and they
yeah,
won't be collateral damage? So they put them up against it's basically the Justice League versus the Justice Society. They basically put them up against them, or the
yeah,
Suicide Squad versus the Justice Society of America. They've basically done that where they've put X Force up against X Factor just for one episode. But
mm,
once again, this could have been the Motendo episode from the last series. It
yeah.
practically is.
It did feel like that.
And it does seem like whenever Jubilee, once again, I do feel that she does get slighted a lot. I feel like whenever Jubilee's a main character, the episodes are very, very,
S-
very almost
Silly.
they're not they're not plot heavy and they're throwaway episodes.
Yeah, I feel with Jubilee's episodes, I totally agree what you're saying. She is very overlooked. When she has her own episode, they're very light-hearted. They're not as heavily
Yeah.
serious as a Wolverine
They've
episode, for
clearly
example.
done spot with her to build him and not build her.
Yeah, it's more to put him
Once again,
over.
he is a very, very powerful mutant. He just doesn't know how powerful he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the bit with Emma Frost in this, where
yeah,
you get to see Jubilee dressed up and actually, what could be seen as her being undercover and all that, like Storm has done, like Jean has done. You would never have
yeah.
seen that in the original series. She was always in her outfit, weren't she?
Always, yeah. You would never have seen that otherwise. It would just been the same clothes she always wears. One thing I wanted to mention, because we've got X Factor and X Force, they're all going at it. I was waiting for this one guy to show up, and I thought he's got to make an appearance, and he didn't. I was fully expecting Deadpool to appear in this one, but he
Yeah,
never did.
yeah. But then I also feel that this Weapon X thing is going to feature Deadpool as well.
Yeah, yeah. They're saving him for that. But I really thought we'd get a Deadpool cameo.
I think it's going to be Ryan Reynolds' voice as well. I
That
was
would be
reading
so
somewhere
cool.
where I'm sure that Ryan Reynolds is in bed with the X Men
in,
producers.
in bed, yeah. Well, if they can get Ryan Reynolds to come in for one episode and voice Deadpool, then they've pulled it off. They've given us the best X-Men series, period. If they can do that, then yeah, they've got my blessing. But yeah, I mean, this episode, while it was very good, this was more or less about Cable recruiting people, and obviously they're butting heads with Archangel and Psylocke, and eventually they go with them. But yeah, this was clearly all definitely a filler, but this wasn't a terrible filler. It was good. It was a very good episode. But this episode was mainly about them trying to track down one of Apocalypse's horsemen called War. And what did you think of the build up leading up to this moment we got? What was your thoughts on that?
Well, just to bring up, obviously, because I mentioned in the last episode,
Yeah,
these are Apocalypse's 1990s horsemen. So war, famine, destitution, or whatever it is. These
yeah,
are his 1990. I think that these were other mutants that he turned into them, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Um,
Corrupted them.
but yeah, I, don't, I liked how they caught him. I liked how Sunsport took her for a ride and was like, right, 3, 2, what. I love how they worked together to get him and whatever else. What I didn't like is the murder.
Yeah, it was not
I
needed,
didn't
was
like
it?
that. I did not like that whatsoever. Like I don't remember them killing anybody in the original series, lad.
No.
Apart from the Dark Phoenix.
That's different. You have to do that. That's totally
That is an
different.
entity. Honestly, I'm thinking to myself, they used the M4 assault rifle to execute a mutant. I can't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, oh, that did take me by surprise. I wasn't
Like
expecting to see that.
Cable deals with a whole different set of rules from Charles and them. Charles would have
Yeah.
never allowed that. You could
Oh
see the
no.
look on Jubilee's face, like, what, we're killing people?
Oh, I didn't think we was doing this. No one told me
No,
about
because
this.
we don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't like some of the superheroes that, sometimes Batman, how they've drifted in and out. I've always preferred it when they just have him be a more murderous version of Batman. That's Batman. He's not got any powers. Yeah,
No.
these are
No.
powered creatures killing mutants, killing mutants. I don't like what I was seeing. We've
No.
always been programmed in to think that mutants who kill mutants are the bad guys.
Yeah. Another thing about this episode, while as I said, I did enjoy it, this just seemed like, once again, like we said about Jubilee, this was just yet again, Jubilee gets left behind, she gets captured, and everyone's got to save her. It's just kind of going back to the old X-Men shows where, this sort of thing happened. I didn't really like that because I thought, we've kind of did all this already. Why are we going back to this formula yet again? It's just basically like what we said before, that Jubilee has always taken a back seat to these guys. She's always like the little kid they have to save. And what did you think of that aspect? Because I didn't like that.
Yeah, once again, as I said, I could have done without all the rehash of that scene there is one of the most polarizing like links to the original series.
Yeah, it
Jubilee getting
is.
himself into hassle, having to be saved by other people, practically being a nuisance and not being taken seriously, and no one listening to her. Like that's more serious.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, no,
one that is one of the standalone things that will continue, I reckon, to happen throughout this series. She will always be used as a placeholder.
yeah. She's more or less used like a plot
When
device,
you
really.
look at
She's,
Jubilee and you look at Wolverine,
well, both different.
they are completely polar opposite characters. Wolverine was allowed in the original series and in this series to go off on his own, do his
Yeah,
own thing. He hardly even answers to Charles. Charles can
very
control him,
rarely.
obviously, but he barely answers to Charles. Yeah.
Very rarely. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I don't know where Jubilee's character growth will go from here, but it's pretty much going to be more or less the same thing. I'll be very surprised if they did actually completely turn her around and made her into something different, but I'm not giving my hopes up, to be honest. Shame, really, because the potential's there to do something really special with her, but yeah, it's not going to happen, is it?
No, I don't like any of that sort of sound. What happened to Gambit in the first series was one thing. People
Yeah,
sacrificing themselves is another thing. Straight
yeah,
up execution in front of quite possibly, throwaway characters like Jubilee being involved in that is absolutely mad. Like she's clearly one of the X Men that are, let's just say, she is expendable.
yes.
She can be in the episode, she cannot be in the episode,
It
as we
won't
learned
make
in
a
the original
difference.
series. It
Yeah,
makes no difference to the viewership. Yeah.
no,
The
it
thing
won't.
is to have her. The only way I can think is it's going to divide the team in the end because she's not going to. How long is she going to continue to listen to Cable when he's doing things like that for? Charles would never allow that
No, no chance.
because we've not gone back there. Remember, that's a standalone. We've not gone back there yet, so we don't know how she's responded to that yet.
No, no doubt we'll probably get another episode in this series where we'll see what happened after this because this is more in the present, not in the past or future. So this is like showing us like this, right, while everyone else is doing their thing, let's see what's going on in the present with who got left behind. And this is pretty much what you get, really. This is kind of like showing you what's been going on. So as we move along here, as we slowly getting ready to wrap this up, so this episode brings us to the future. So what was your thoughts on the future aspects with Nathan in the future with Gene and Scott?
Practically the same. The old woman started to get on my nerves because obviously you're getting in the way.
Yeah,
You're
it
not
was like,
understanding. We're from the
yeah,
future. We're
yeah,
from the future and we're from the past. They know what Nathan's going to become.
yes,
So it's almost to them like they've seen the future. But remember, they're
yeah,
living in the future. So it's up to time. So their present right now is they've got to make Nathan Cable. So everything that they're thinking, this is Cyclops and Jean, has to be obviously natural. It has to be natural to the format of what they're thinking and what they're going to do. And obviously, how quickly this episode then delves into, right, we are going to basically take on Apocalypse,
Yes.
despite him not being in any way, shape, or form ready.
No. Well, that'd be interesting to see how that will unfold, with how they will push Nathan to become the one who stops Apocalypse. Because, as you say, he's not even ready yet, or nowhere near ready, because he's still a kid.
Apocalypse is indefinite.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how long time goes on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what era. Apocalypse is the first mutant. He's
Correct.
almost at this stage where we're watching. He's almost like indestructible. He can be caged away. He can be locked away. He can be placed in places where he isn't powerful enough to get out. But he cannot be stopped, and he cannot
No.
be like basically he can't be killed.
No.
He is in death. And this is the thing that I was thinking. To stop Apocalypse, you are almost erasing your own kind. Because
Pretty
I'm
much.
certain that they're going down the road of he is the first mutant, and he is also basically he's the one that basically links all of mutant kind now. So if you kill him, you kill all mutant kind.
More or less. Yeah, he's a very powerful entity, if not the most powerful entity ever. So it will be interesting to see how that will unfold with Nathan becoming Cable and being the one to defeat Apocalypse. So as we get ready to wrap this up now, we see Nathan sends Jean and Scott and the rest of the remaining X-Men back to the 1990s. So as we get set to wrap this up now, we're going to give our overall rating. Rex, we're going to start with you. What did you rate this episode out of 10?
I mean, having watched them last week all in a row, I would have given this a 10 last week. But having
Mm,
watched it again, yeah, I'm going to give this episode a 9. There's not enough in this episode for me to, if I was to go back and watch each episode singly, I'm glad that I didn't have to wait a week to watch this episode.
same.
And I want to hope the next episode is better than this one.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely give this a 9 out of 10. I did enjoy this one a lot, even though it did scream filler to me, but this was still a lot of fun. It was still very enjoyable. The
It was
first
only
episode.
acceptable because it was 1 out of 3 episodes. Basically, you didn't expect all 3 to be, unbelievable, but they were good enough. And
Mm.
obviously, if you watch it like a 90-minute movie or an hour movie, it fits in well.
But as you say, because they all came out together, yeah, you watched them one after another, and that's what you get. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one a lot. I did love the little change around with the intro. I thought that was very cool and unexpected. But yeah, this is definitely a 9 out of 10. Still good, but as you say, when you look at the first episode and how strong that was, and you compare it to this, still good, but both completely different, but still very good. But yeah, this definitely sets up for episode 3. Very much looking forward to that. So that's going to be it from us. We are going to wrap this up now. What was your thoughts on episode 2? Did you enjoy it? What was your thoughts on X Factor and X Force being in this episode? Did it scream filler to you? And do you feel that Jubilee was more or less used as a plot device to put over Sunspot? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and we will see all of you next time for another edition of the X-Men 97 Season 2 review series, where we are going to be talking about episode 3. Rex, this was a pleasure as always. Looking forward to discussing episode 3 with you. Can't wait.
Yeah, pleasure as always, guys. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, we'll be back on the next one, guys. See you later.
Bye for now, guys.